Hey everybody, welcome back to the Complete Game. I'm your host Curt Schilling. He is the co-host Garrett Schilling. What's up, G?
What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
Episode 50, half century.
5-0.
50. It's been
Yep.
fun. I've been enjoying this more and more each day. So each time we do it, we I want you to actually kick off with just kind of updates, but I want to spend this show talking about the Roman Anthony contract, and kind of talk through. It's a recent phenomenon for the most part. Last 15 years or so, you're seeing guys with literally no service time getting uh, huge multi-year deals, and but we'll get to that. But I definitely want to talk about that. So, what's going on? I mean, the Brewers probably won't ever
Yeah,
lose again.
not a ton going on since we last talked, except the Brewers and the Red Sox might never lose again. And unfortunately for the Mets, they have the Brewers this weekend, and it seems like both teams in New York are in an absolute tailspin. We talked about Devin Williams' latest woes last episode. He came in tonight in a tie game, gave up 2 earned runs, 3 overall, and ended up taking the L for the Yankees tonight in a game that seems more and more important every night that they play now with that
Yeah,
AL wild card race. So,
and
uh,
out of Milwaukee, Woodruff got the win tonight. He's been legit since he came back, and really kind of a trade deadline acquisition that they didn't have to trade for, and that
yeah.
they're. I mean, they were the first to 70 wins, earliest in franchise history. They won 70 games. Now you start looking at the rosters as they're composed of some of these teams. Like, do they have what it takes to win in the postseason? You saw all those trade deadline moves. 80% of it was done for relievers. And there's a lot of conversation around that's how you win a World Series now, and is you get through the postseason with a huge, deep bullpen. I disagree with that, but um, real
Well, just
interesting.
to just to compare it to like teams that I got to see you play on, and then shortly after in Boston got to watch, like it was they're hitting on all these guys right now. Like the Jacob Mizorowskis are coming up. You mentioned Woodruff, even though he's not a young guy coming from injury, he's not someone they had to go out and acquire. Like you're mentioning, he's a trade deadline acquisition, although they had to give up nothing for him. It's just a season like that where it's like, I mean, the one I think of is 2007, where a little man named Dustin Pedroia comes out of the woodwork and becomes like a cornerstone of the franchise. Where
Jacoby Ellsbury, yeah. I mean, just
Jackson Churio is having an
yep,
unbelievable, like they just have all these names of guys that they're not household names, but when you have 25 guys all pitching in and doing what their specific job is, you
yeah,
become a team like the Brewers or the Red Sox right now, which are
yeah,
grooving through
yep,
their schedule at the moment.
yep. And
I
Cheerios on the
had
DL, and it hasn't stopped the Brewers one bit.
yeah, I had Drake Baldwin from the Braves yesterday. Hit 2 bombs and had 5 RBIs. Mentioning Jacob Mizorowski on the Brewers, this guy playing his balls off at catcher for the Braves in a hell of a season on a sinking ship, and just this guy refuses to give up. He's hitting 287, 13 home runs, 46 RBIs. He tied the game in the seventh with his third hit yesterday. His fourth time having a 3+ RBI game in his rookie season, so just wanted to give him a little bit of flowers before you talk a little bit about Roman Anthony. You mentioned already 8 years, $130 million
Yeah.
from the Red Sox.
So
Second big ticket they've given out
yep,
this year after getting rid of Rafael Devers. So
yep. They did it with Campbell. They did it with Rafaela. Both those guys got 8-year deals. And with when you start thinking about those contracts, I mean, last year, Colt Keith of the Tigers got what was it? He got a contract that he could be in Detroit through 2032, with 0 days of. They literally gave him the deal before he was called up to the big leagues. Um,
6 year contract extension worth
yep,
28.6 with
yep.
options for three
And with
additional years.
with the way things are going now, with arbitration and salaries, it feels like some of these deals could pay for themselves in just a year of free agency with player. That 6 years is that was given to him before he made his. So that covers all 6 years of his club retention. never going to arbitration. It's a gamble. Churio, same thing in 2023. He got his deal with 0 days of service time. And that's pretty amazing when you think about it. Luis Robert, 5 years ago,
White Sox.
White Sox, he got a 6-year, $50 million extension with
I
two
would have
op-
given him that just for the Field of Dreams game.
yeah, with two additional option years, by the way. Um, Evan White 6 years ago, who I don't know how many people know who he is. Seattle gave him a 6-year, $24 million deal with three additional club option years. Eloy Jimenez of the White Sox, no service time. Scott Kingery of the Phillies, no service time. John Singleton of the Astros, no service time. Christian
So
Campbell
what is the thought process behind doing something like that so early? Is it like trying to capitalize on a rookie contract, sort
well,
of,
it's trying. Yeah, see,
or
I mean,
take advantage of years of service like you're talking about
well, it's
before?
years of service. Arbitration is something that clubs dread. They hate it. Because if you understand arbitration, you go in and ask for 50 million, and the club offers you 20 million, and there is no middle ground. You get one or the other. So it's potentially a massive win-loss for one side or the other. And so they're gambling. In 2011, lefty Matt Moore, I kind of remember this. He had 17 days in the big leagues. He signed a 5-year, $14 million, which nowadays sounds like ridiculous, but back then it was ridiculous. And he had 19 innings in the big leagues when they gave him the deal. Um, Eighth round pick, who just crazy. Evan Longoria, which ended up being a good deal. He got a 6-year, $17.5 million deal after less than a month in the big leagues. Corbin Carroll in 23. Backs gave him 8 years, $111 million after 38 days in the big leagues. Again, if you're thinking about the way guys are getting paid now, he's going to go to free agency and be a 30, $40 million player a year guy, right? So regardless of what he that's going to end up being a monster savings for them as long as he stays healthy. Um, and the Sox have jumped on. There's couple guys. I didn't realize Salvador Perez did it as well. He signed, again, it sounds funny in today's terms, 2012, he signed a 5-year, $7 million contract. Ended up being incredibly worth the money. Michael Harris,
That's
the one that I
WNBA
think
money
about,
nowadays.
huh?
That's WNBA money
Right,
nowadays.
right. The one that I think that the big one, the one that kind of shook the foundation was the 11-year, $182 million deal that the Rays gave Wander Franco. It could have been 12 for 223, which is crazy. He had he didn't have just over half season of service time. We all know how that's turned out. I don't think they're on the hook for a lot of that because I think they end up he gets no pay if he ends up being suspended the way he is. Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners got a monster deal, and a lot more than I remember. Chris Archer, who I had the pleasure of working with at an unnamed sports channel. He signed a $25.5 million deal for 6 years after 1 year of service time. I'll tell you the one that I had forgotten about was Acuna in 2019. He had
I love Acuna.
165 days of service time. They signed him to an 8-year, $100 million deal.
Maybe of all the names you just ran through, the best value? Any of those other
Think
guys
about
won a
this.
title or an
Think
MVP?
about what these guys are getting now 30, 40, $50 million annually. He has a 2027 option for $17 million in 27 and 28 with a $10 million buyout. I don't care
That's
what he does between now and then. They're
I made
saving
the
massive money.
WNBA joke before. That's legitimately like hockey money. That's like the top. That's what Connor McDavid will get paid. That's crazy to
Right.
think that
And
that's going to be chump change by the
well,
time he's
to
there.
think that that's probably going to be literally half of what he would get as a free agent or
Yeah, not even.
right. That's what you're hoping to do with that kind of a deal. You're hoping to kind of hit the slot machine jackpot. And if you do, it's like getting Tom Brady on a rookie contract for the last 5 years of his career. Um, and with the salary cap the way it is in baseball, it's not a hard cap, but I mean, my God, but you could get Wander Franco'd as well, and I think a lot of that has to do with knowing the player, right? Roman Anthony, from all signs I've seen, is the complete thing. I know I saw a stat the other day that I think hard contact and exit velocity, the only guy that has done what he's done in the big leagues over the last year is Juan Soto. That's not a bad comp. And you saw the Red Sox, what they've done. I'm not sure if all three of those are under Breslow. I think they were. But that's I mean, because you're looking at guys
No,
who,
it was. Help me, guy before. Hang on, I will look it up. Yeah.
but, but
I
yeah,
got to see the name.
so let's think about that, right? Three guys who might be 20 to $30 million players annually are tied up for a quarter of that. So,
Chamblum. Why don't I remember how to say this name?
but yeah, but again, you're taking a huge risk, a huge gamble, and to a rookie, my God, I mean, you're sitting there as a rookie making good money, and all of a sudden they pop $100 million plus deal in front of you 5 years before they have to. Like, it's got to be hard to walk away from that, if not impossible. But good for them. Good for them. I just think it's fascinating to me that that kind of money's getting put out for players, especially in a game that is like hockey. You have no idea how these guys are going to pan out this is before they play what I think is the toughest schedule in sports, which has an enormous effect. They've never done it before, so pretty interesting stuff. And Boston now, I said a month ago, I don't think they're built to win a World Series, and I don't. But don't tell them that, because they're showing up at the park every day with smiles on their faces, and they can't wait to play the games.
I mean,
And
it just has that vibe. That team, they don't give a shit if people think they're good or not. They don't care if they have
well,
Rafael Devers
like I
or any
said,
sort
there's
of
something to
household
be
name.
said for, and people can chuckle all they want about these guys are making millions, yada yada, but showing up at the ballpark every day excited is different than showing up walking into the clubhouse at Fenway is on the other side of the galaxy from walking into the clubhouse in Colorado every day. And
And you feel like the sorry to interrupt, but that's like what even if it's not just your opinion that they're not a team that's ready. That was a league wide and
yeah,
a well agreed upon opinion that they were not there yet. That this might be a team that they were on the doorstep, but
yeah,
the Yankees were, and now they're neck and neck with them at this point in the year. About to turn the page to September pretty soon, and
right,
they're up 4-0 right now. Like they
yeah,
just refuse to lose right now.
yeah,
That's what I'm talking
yeah.
about. Them and the
It's
Brewers.
it's it's a momentum thing, and it definitely translates and carries over. So pretty interesting to see, especially in that division. You know,
Yep.
um,
I guess another honorable mention of a team that doesn't lose a lot, particularly right now, is the Toronto Blue Jays. We talked
yeah.
about them a little bit.
Well, thank God, because Boston would be running away with that division if the Blue Jays were playing like the Yankees.
They're setting a franchise record for hits over the weekend in Colorado, where a
Yeah,
couple of those guys' dads used to play.
that
So
was really, really difficult to watch. 45 runs on something like 69 hits over 3 games. The series ends with a 20-1 blowout or some ridiculous
I
thing.
mean, that's like Venezuela coming to where I grew up, and
Yeah,
the little league teams. Like
yeah.
that's a beatdown.
Well,
Uh,
3 games that ended with a position player giving up 8 earned runs in 1 inning. I mean, that's just. And I said it before, Denver's such a great baseball town. It's really kind of a hidden gem out there, and uh, I just can't imagine. They were down 3-0 before they got to bat today, or before they just horrible. Can't be fun to watch. It's not fun to watch. Can't be fun to experience.
But the Blue Jays took the short flight from Denver to LA, and they're playing the Dodgers tonight. It is Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw's fifth all-time meeting, fourth in the regular season. A rare matchup between two no doubt Hall of Famers,
Yeah,
3,000 strikeout
3,000
guys.
strikeout guys. Yeah.
It's only happened around 20 times since 1980, and the last three times it's happened is some variation of Kershaw, Scherzer, and Verlander. And then you
Yeah.
have to go all the way back to 2007 with you and Roger. And then the year before that was Roger and Maddox, who
Yeah. Derek
I'm
Jeter
sure everyone
screwed me.
knows this, but just in case you don't, these guys' first appearance was actually their debut against each other, being subbed in for RJ, Randy
Yeah.
Johnson, and
It
Greg
was
Maddux.
supposed to be Randy Johnson versus Greg Maddux, and everybody bought tickets, and everybody got disappointed when they showed up because some kid named Max Scherzer was facing another kid named Clayton Kershaw. Who would have thunk
Yeah,
it?
who now are
Yeah.
combined almost 7,000 strikeouts later, four World
Yeah. Well,
Series,
yeah,
five
no,
Cy
you're talking
Youngs,
about what, like
six Cy
13
Youngs.
or 14,000 strikeouts combined with those four guys,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, with all four of them.
And over 1,000 wins. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. But those two in particular, six Cy Youngs, three no hitters, 19 All Star games, four World Series. I mean, it's just like again, I use this term a lot, but it is video game like stuff. I
Right.
wanted to blind rank them, or not blind rank them, but blind read stats. They've both been in the league 17 years. Like we just mentioned, they debuted at the same time. You said ERA would tip you off. Is there any other stats that I can't read that'll
No,
tip you
no,
off?
the three
Okay.
World Series to one, no,
Yeah, yeah, I won't.
yeah,
So those, I'm not doing accolades,
right.
just straight
No, but the
games,
ERA would have been the
innings.
one that tipped me off
Okay.
because Kershaw's checking in at like 2.5 over a
I don't
17-year
know. I don't
career.
know if you need to write it down. I'll do a couple though. I'll do games, innings, wins, strikeouts, and whip.
Right,
And we've been talking about you being a GM, so you're getting player A or player B for 17 years for your franchise. The playoffs we've agreed with both of them is kind of a wash. Their records aren't great. They're both 500 or
right,
below. So this is regular season. You're getting this guy for 17 years. All right, so
right.
pitcher 1, 65 games started, 1,919 innings pitched, 118 wins, 3,451 strikeouts, and a 108 whip. Pitcher 2 has started 442 games, thrown 2,808 and a third innings, has 217 wins, has 3,010 strikeouts, and has a 102 whip.
Yeah,
So those are, by the way, all first, second, or third since both those guys came into the
right.
league, and the only one who puts them anywhere other than first and second is Justin Verlander.
Verlander, right. Yeah, so I'll let you have one and I'll take the other. I don't care,
Yeah, right.
right? I don't care.
You're not losing anything.
No, no.
But Kershaw is 442, 2008-08. He's the second player.
Yeah, but think about it, right? 17 years, just barely over 200 wins. I mean, Maddox pitched longer, but I mean, it's why I think we've probably, until baseball fixes pitching, we've probably seen our last 300 game winner.
What about 3,000 strikeouts?
Well, the only reason that that's still a potential threat is the strikeout rates have gone through the roof. Guys are still having 200 strikeout seasons and
Yeah, but what about
250.
career longevity?
Yeah, no, I don't. No,
I'm
I. That's
I'm
what I said.
I'm sure
The way
that's
it's going
dipped.
now, I don't think any of the guys out there is going to see 15 years. That you know,
But
because I
that's what
just
I
don't
mean.
think.
We're talking about these guys like they're Satchel Paige and
Yeah.
Greg. Like they've played 17 years. We're acting like they're old dogs.
Yeah.
You retired when you were what, 40, 41 years old?
That text you sent me was just pure old school. Nolan Ryan talking about his favorite start ever was a 14 inning complete game that Nolan Ryan once threw I think 232 pitches in a game, struck out 19, walked 10, and they were doing it on 3 days rest. Like and everybody wants to talk about the human or athletic feats of sports progressing beyond what they used to be, and pitching has regressed. And it's because of the sport and the teachings and the upbringings. It's just people are raising pitchers differently now. Workload is not something that's focused on. It's more a matter of, well, I mean, my God, we just saw a stat. Who was it that hit the? Was it Gurriel that hit a home run? He was the first guy to hit the 103-mile-an-hour fastball for a home run or some stupid stat, like
Yeah, yeah.
meaningless stat. It's a home run, dude. Don't care how hard the pitch was. Um, but that is, and you can see it. The announcers are caught up in it. Everybody's caught up in the gun. And the gun is why you're seeing the breakdown and all of the other things that go with that. And the team, I'm telling you right now, the team that figures it out and reorganizes and rebuilds their pitching program to be 80s and 90s focused, where you're focused on your starting pitchers pitching innings, will be a team that will go on a long run from a dynasty perspective. When you can, because there's a big, like I said, we talked about all the free agent relievers that were coming into the game and getting traded over the deadline. Now, everybody was thinking we got to build a bullpen to win in the postseason, and I always told you, what are the odds that your team is going to have 6 pitchers who have to be on, right? You have to have your starter, and every reliever has to do his job every night. You're not looking at a starter to go 8 and dominate and carry you, and then your closer to get a close it down. You know, that's just a different mindset, and it's harder to do, and especially in October. So I think that
I
the
have
team
the
that go
I
ahead.
have the tweet I sent you if you want me to read it real quick about
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
innings. So this is from Jim Konigsberger on Twitter at Jim from Baseball. In my opinion, the greatest game ever pitched was between the San Francisco Giants and Milwaukee Braves on July 2nd, 1963. 42-year-old Warren Spahn and 25-year-old Juan
Juan Marichal and Warren Spahn.
Marshall. Each went 16 innings, and the game ended 1-0 on a home run by Willie Mays. Each pitcher threw over 200 pitches. Spahn threw 201, Marshall threw 227. There were 7 future Hall of Fame players in that game, including Spahn and Marshall. We will never see that again because the game won't allow it. But both guys were prepared to go as long as it took, and this game was not a fluke. Both pitchers won 20 games that season. For Spahn, it was his 13th 20-win season, and for Marshall, it was his first of 6. My highest pitch count was 232 in a game against the Red Sox in 1974. I pitched 12 innings, struck out 19 batters, walked 10, and had a no decision. My counterpart, Louis Tiant, threw 180 pitches in 14 and a third and took the loss 4-3. We were on a 4-man rotation and pitched on 3 days rest. I had 26 complete games in 73 and 74 and didn't even lead the league. Gaylord Perry had 29 in 73 and Ferguson Jenkins had 29 in 74. That
Yep.
was Nolan Ryan.
Yep. I mean, that's at the other end of the spectrum, but I think we need to go back in that direction.
There's a happy medium somewhere between that
Oh yeah.
and where you pitched, right? Like, that is not this current state of the game today in pitching.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm going to apologize for you generational guys. Warren Spahn was way before Garrick's time. So when he said Span, that's because I had never talked
no,
to
I said,
Garrick about
did I say
Spain.
Span?
Span. Warren Spahn and Juan Marichal. Yep. And Louis Tiant,
Well,
who was
at least I know the 4th president. So,
yeah,
you want to
no
guess
kidding.
teammate?
Yeah, guess my teammate.
All right.
By the way,
Anyone
you
who
got
hasn't been around
everybody with
yet?
Loretta.
Anybody who has not been around, we got 5 clues here for a former teammate of my dad's, ranging from very vague to very obvious. This will be our 30th guess the teammate on our 50th episode.
And I'm 28 for 29.
That's why you get that's why I did put us together last week so we could do that. 30 on 50, so a 17-year MLB vet. I played for 4 MLB franchises, but spent only a season and a half of it in the American League.
Pass. I don't think I've ever gotten it on the first guess.
I think there was one, but I forget who off the top of my head. A 7-time All-Star infielder, including 2 selections at the same time as you, and a career batting average of 280 plus. although I'm more well known for my defensive prowess.
Mark Grace.
Nope. That defensive prowess would explain my 8 gold gloves at third base, but does not tell much about my postseason struggles, including going hitless in 15 at-bats in one of my trips to the World Series.
Scott Rowland?
Scott Rowland.
Scotty Rowe.
Hitless in 15 at-bats in 04. I forgot he was even on the team.
Dude, we shut them down in 04. I got to tell you, Brooks Robinson and Mike Schmidt both said in front of me that Scott Rowland was the best defensive third baseman either of them had ever seen. And if you ask fans, they would tell you that Brooks and Schmitty are the 2 best. But both of them said he was the best they ever saw.
Yep, that feels like those guys feel sort of Gretzky-like in the way that they take a lot of pride in pushing it away from them and making it about the next generation.
By the way, Scott Rowland was Mr. Basketball his senior year in high school in Indiana.
Really?
And he was the number one.
What is that? Isn't it a award in Indiana? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No.
He was like the All-State.
Right. Being
Mr.
Basketball in Indiana would be like being Mr. Football in Texas.
Yeah.
In high school. And he was Kentucky Wildcats, the number 1 recruit that year for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, Indiana Mr. Basketball. That's what it is. That's such a funny-ass name for an award.
Well, think Hoosiers, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I know. I always like. It sounds like an award that it would be in a Disney movie, but it's not real. That's why I always am like, that's not what it's actually called, though. But yeah, it is.
And he was his.
Indiana Mr.
I saw his.
Do you know what year? He'll be on this list.
Yeah, he'll be. It would be.
He would have come in the year in '96, so it would have to be early '90s, late '80s.
No, it had to be like early '92, '93, '94, somewhere in there, because he was in the big leagues in '97.
I'll see it. Might have to fact check you on that.
But
or Scott Rowland.
But his recruiting tape in high school had a video of him jumping up, touching the rim with his elbow.
Yeah, I mean, he was a freak athlete, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Who almost died in a paintball war in Joe Robbie Stadium in Florida one dark night.
Says he won it in 1993, but not on the wiki. Says it on his wiki, but not on the wiki for Mr. Indiana.
Right.
Oh, no, Mr. Indiana Baseball.
He won Mr. Basketball, too.
It doesn't say that, but yeah, he was also named to Indiana High School Basketball All-Star Team, so I'm guessing he was pretty damn legit. He also, I almost killed him, right? Myself, as a little kid.
Yeah. Yep.
If you want to tell that one, so that has some context outside of I almost
you can
killed
tell
your
that
teammate.
One.
I was 2 or 3, I have no idea. But yeah, I guess I hit a line drive by his head that he had no idea before I could really even stand.
Right. I don't know that it would have killed him, but it would have hurt him.
Yeah. Well, the way that I was told it growing up, it was a heat-guided missile. So.
All right, Bubba.
All right.
So we on for Sunday.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, you did.
I feel like Andy.
Yeah.
In Parks and Rec.
Right. And yep. Is that Mrs.
Andy. Funny hat, Gaptooth, and Bill Clinton's wife.
All right, Bubba. All right.
Catch everybody on Sunday.
Talk soon.